Hey guys, what's going on? My name is CJ, and welcome to the first visual novel on this channel. It's also technically the first gaming video, I guess, because I'd classify it as a type of game. It's a form of entertainment that's not watching something. It's just a lot of reading, and I'm not the best reader, I guess. I'm decent at it, but hopefully this setup finally works. I was trying to do it with like 4 or 5 different softwares at one time, and because I was just planning on doing this all with OBS, Open Broadcasting Software, but that never worked because it never captured the game audio, and the game audio is so nice. I really want you guys to all be able to hear it too. So yeah, but so the game we're playing is Narcissu. It's split up into 2 games really. It's the first one should take about 4 hours, so I'm probably gonna do hour-long episodes, maybe a little more, a little less, just depending on how it goes. And the second part is like 6 hours, so total 10 10 episodes, which I think is gonna be good for like bi-weekly, like 2 episodes every week maybe. I feel like that's a good way to do this. And then yeah, so I hope you guys will enjoy this. If you do, leave a like down below. This is my first gaming video, so I'm not going to leave a like goal, but yeah, just leave a like if you enjoy it. Leave a comment if you have any other games you want me to play. I was planning on live streaming, but again, the software doesn't capture the game's audio for some reason, so if I do live stream, it's probably going to be off my PlayStation, just for, you know, for easiness sakes. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I've already played through the prologue in my several times trying to record this, and I finally really hope it's gonna work. But anyway, so we see it's Narcissu and Narcissu's Side Second. Both games, I have both of them, and they were both free on Steam. I will leave a link down below to the Steam store if you guys want to get them and play along too. But yeah, so first you gotta select the title, translation. You got Agilis, which I don't know what that is. I guess it's a person. GP32, I guess it's another person. And Japanese, Nihongo, which I can't read Japanese yet, so I'm actually learning that now, and I'm bad at it. I'm gonna do voiced because I love the voice actress in this. It's amazing. So yeah, like I said, I've played through chapter 1. Like, I played through chapter 1. I played a total maybe about 20 minutes without realizing it. Oh my god, that's the first time I read that though. But even so, I went to grade school normally. During summer vacation, I played until I was tan, very dark. Did you guys see that? Man, I'm gonna turn down the audio. No, I guess I already turned it down. I guess I'll say it this time. But Jesus Christ, were those numbers accurate on suicide back like what, 15 years ago, 16 years ago? That was like 31,000, 29,000 something. Do people really kill themselves that much? I'm gonna take off my ring. It's gonna be annoying. Jesus Christ. June, soon after entering middle school. The day after we ordered swimsuits for the swimming class that would start next month. That time was the first time I experienced being admitted into a hospital. And I'm sorry if I kind of slur my words. I can't really hear myself. I'm like muffled because of these headphones. And if I take one off, then I just sound really loud to myself. So I prefer the muffled. It just helps me read better, I guess. Because when I can hear myself more, I don't talk right, I guess. I don't know. Words. Useless words. Yeah, these videos are going to murder my computer. Okay. Just a little before the first semester midterms, a day where the rain that started to fall felt awfully cold. I'm gonna move my mouse out of the way. In the midst of that pure white sky of the rainy season. In the beginning, everyone in class came to visit me each day. And when I was discharged from the hospital during the weekends, they would come to my house to play. But that was just the beginning. Fall came, winter left. Hospitalized, discharged, outpatient care, and then starting again with hospitalization. Classmates who were once called friends, at some point became acquaintances, and then turned to strangers. With each turning of the seasons, it seemed that I was disappearing from their memories.
どうやらいい気がしないらしい。普通に生きている人にとって私の存在ってのは
She's got a very morbid way of thinking.
消されたようだった。
See? That's why I seem to have been erased. It's a very morbid way of thinking throughout this whole prologue, and I'm guessing throughout the whole story it's very morbid. But hopefully it's not like that for real. If you keep seeing me staring over here, it's because I'm making sure that everything's still recording, right? Because this file is going to be huge. Because, like I said, hour long. I have a lot of space on my computer, but I have no idea if I have enough space. I really hope I do. If I don't, then I'm going to be really angry. I'm just going to go as long as my computer will let me, I guess.
いつもの季節を白い梅雨空を誰とも言葉を交わす必要もなく過ごした。私の英語の教科書は1年生の中間テスト以降まっさらな状態だった。
That's another thing. The soundtrack and the voice actors in this game or visual novel are very, very good, very well done, especially for 2005. Because you gotta remember, this is 2005 and 2007 for these games. So that's like actually kind of impressive. Hang on, let me.
そこで私の時間も止まったらしい。
Stage 7, which is stage 7. 8 years later, 2004, early summer protagonist. Summer, flowing sweat. In the driver's license examination area, a large electronic bulletin board was installed. All at once, the lights came on, and like everyone else there, I searched for my own number. 237, 237. Scanning among the mostly lit light panel, I found my own examination number. Because it was just past midday, the train car was quite empty. And in that empty car, I was on the way home from the examination center. In my left hand was a traffic regulations manual I had just received. In my shirt pocket was the brand new license. Congratulations on getting your license, bro. With this, I'm also normally licensed, eh? I murmured somewhat seriously, but didn't feel any particularly strong emotion. It's not like I wanted to drive cars, nor did I really have another purpose in mind. Yeah, I should probably mention beforehand, you're gonna find this out sooner or later, but the protagonist is very, what's the word? Apathetic about everything. Like, he doesn't really care. He's got a very sad look on life. A lot of the characters in this do have a very sad outlook on life. Like, nobody would really care if I was gone. It's like that kind of thing. I don't know. I don't see it that way. I know a lot of people do, but I feel like the way he looks at things is pretty dark. And the same for that girl that was on earlier. They both look at things in a very dark way. And yeah. It was just people around me were going to the training center and had recommended that I at least get a driver's license. So he just did it just because. He doesn't really want a license. He doesn't really care about driving and everything. He just wanted a license. You know, just because everybody else was doing it. That night, when I reported to my parents that I had gotten my license, "Is that so?" was a short reply. His parents they're kind of not really caring towards him. Like, they don't really care what he does or anything. Which, I mean, he's an adult, so I guess that makes sense, but I get the feeling that it was always like that. As an experiment, I tried saying that I wanted to borrow the car, and just as shortly came a "you can't." Yeah, see, I get the feeling his parents were always very cold towards him. It wasn't like I had wanted to drive the car, but the responses were exactly as I had imagined. They were those sorts of parents. Yeah. The next day, upon waking up, my chest hurt, and so I was taken to the hospital. Now, this is about where I got in the every time. This is about where I got where he was taken to the hospital. I didn't get much past this, so it was about 10 minutes in. I didn't get much past this, so now it's all firsthand. Normally, I had little to do with things involving sickness. That was why waiting in the initial waiting room felt extremely boring. The art's pretty good, though. Finally, just when I thought the examination was over, this time I went to take x-rays and blood tests. I was made to go. On top of that, for a long time, I was made to wait in boredom. Without noticing, I had finished reading 3 books of Jump manga that was in the waiting room and was reaching for a fourth. Is that copyrighted? It's a Jump magazine. I really hope it's not copyrighted. Well, I mean, the game used it, so I guess it's not. But, and just like that, I was made to do the paperwork for being admitted into the hospital. The brand new driver's license that still lay in my shirt pocket. It looked like the time for its debut was a ways off. Looks like it. Autumn 2004. Protagonist. Around when those very noisy cicadas had stopped crying. As usual, I was in the hospital. Of course, it wasn't like I was always admitted in the hospital. I would be in and out. Last month, I had my first experience with surgery. After being discharged, I commuted 5 minutes for outpatient care by scooter. And even from then on, admitted, discharged, outpatient care, gradually moving towards being admitted again. So see, it's the same kind of cycle as with that first girl, because she was hospitalized, discharged, put in outpatient, and then hospitalization again, all through her childhood, and this guy is going through the same thing, so it's kind of like, yeah, you get the idea. I didn't know anything about PET or IRESA. I'm gonna have to Google what those are later. But I noticed through the comings and goings that a number of months have passed. In exchange with my decreasing appetite, the types and amounts of drugs were increased. Even I could see with my own eyes that my strength was declining. Okay, so a decreasing appetite and drugs increased and strength declining. He's probably got some kind of terminal illness, like cancer or something. I wouldn't know what kind because, I don't know medical stuff, but it looks like he's probably got some kind of cancer. My legs felt a bit thin, but that's not your imagination. The needle on the scale would tell me. Yeah, he's definitely losing weight, so it could just be because he's not eating, but it probably would have said something like that, like, I've stopped eating or something like that, and yet I was looking at myself somehow objectively. So he's probably got some sort of terminal illness. As if watching a stranger, like looking at a single scene on a television. The sudden things that happened in my body, my head couldn't keep up with them. The feeling that what was happening was real didn't arise. So he's in denial. And so, even though it was supposed to be my own body, I could only watch myself from afar with cold eyes. Winter 2004. Winter, around when Christmas trees were disappearing from the streets. Perhaps it was due to it being the end of the year, but I was allowed to return home. In the end, it seemed to be only temporary, but even then I was a bit happy. That's the first bit of emotion he's shown in the last 6 months that have gone by in 3 minutes. In a mix of rain and sleet, I returned home for the first time in a while. For some reason, everyone in the family was gathered. Even though my parents normally didn't speak much, while being a bit stiff, they smiled at me. So it's like a... Welcome back. You still alive? It's like that kind of smile, The little sister who I always argued with made my favorite cream stew and fried shrimp. God, fried shrimp. Fried shrimp's pretty good. I like fried shrimp. We sat next to each other in the kotatsu. They peeled mandarins for me. They were excessively kind. That was the impression it left. Okay, just a little side note. A kotatsu, like sitting under a kotatsu, is one of the things that I'm really looking forward to about moving to Japan. Because I want to experience it just once at least. During this time, I had just a bit of a realization. Still left in the pocket, that brand new license. From 6 months ago? 7 months ago? Jesus. That license, without giving it rise to any practical value, might expire. Yeah. While having stiff, unnatural smiles directed at me. Calmly, vaguely, rather simply, I thought of that, as if thinking of someone else. It's kind of sad when you're, January 2012. It's kind of sad when your driver's license has more personification in your own mind than your family. That's the kind of life this guy's lived. He's like so distant from his family that his driver's license, that he's never even touched, never even used, is more personified. I just think that's really sad. The new year came and I returned again to the hospital. For some reason, on that day, I didn't go to the 4th floor, but instead to a conference room. I was made to go. There, with my father and a doctor, I heard many things. Was made to listen. I think that was made to listen is like a when people put in an asterisk, you know, it's like an action type thing that's showing. It's like showing an action. I think that's what that is. So I'll probably just put an is or I was in front of it just for that reason, because I don't like reading it like that. It's not grammarly correct. It's not grammatically correct. It was that thing called notification, probably. They had an extremely indirect way of speaking, but in the end, it seemed like I was going to die. I see. See, that's the kind of response that somebody with this apathetic outlook on life would give. It's like, you're a young man and you've just been told, or a young man or young woman, and you've just been told that you're gonna die. In the comments, tell me what you would say if you were told that. Because I would not say, I see. That's not the first thing that would come out of my mouth. It's like, isn't there anything you could do? Or something. I don't know. That was why I was only able to reply with that. I couldn't find other words. From when I entered until I left the room, that was all that I said. Accepting my answer, the doctor moved the ballpoint pen in his hand. Most likely it was the paperwork for the hospice. To the very end, he was very businesslike. My father was very much the same. Yeah, and the dad gets extra shit for this, because his son, or daughter, I'm pretty sure, son, I'm like about 90% sure that the protagonist is male, but your son or daughter, literally right in front of you, has just been told they're going to die. This kid is around my age. I'm 17. He's about my age, and he's just been told he's going to die, and said, I see. And what does the father do? Nothing. He doesn't even react. It was such a simple thing. It wasn't, though. I mean, being told you're gonna die is not simple. It's painful. That was my honest impression. If that's how you want to think, bro, I'm gonna stop giving my insight on this, because we already see how the protagonist is reacting to it. And then, between that day and the next, I changed from the 4th to the 7th floor, from a 6-patient room to a single. So he was moved to hospice. And also, the 7th floor itself was a bit different from the other floors. For one thing, the floors were sparkling, the ceilings were much higher, much broader. Inside the rooms was extremely clean. The large windows seemed designed to let in lots of sunlight. However, the windows only opened a tiny bit. When I tried measuring, it was just slightly smaller than allowing your head to pass through, so it keeps you from jumping out the window. That's basically what he just said. This is just giving me an apathetic look on life. I'm trying to stay positive, but that's what it means. Doesn't even need to hide it at this point. The other thing was the color of the ID bracelets changed. Since the day I was admitted, a vinyl bracelet was always wrapped around my wrist. Upon it was my name and blood type. That color had changed from blue to white. High ceilings, white vinyl bracelets, windows that can only open 15 centimeters. Isn't that like less than 6 inches? Yeah, it's like 5.9 inches? It's like that long? About? My math could be way wrong. Somebody check me. Editor Yuki, check me on that. The day I was transferred to the 7th floor, it was when the boring New Year's programs were still being broadcast. The time I met her for the first time was also at the very beginning of the year. Voice crack. Wait, met her.
Narcissus.
Narcissu. Okay, so I was saying it wrong. So that was the prologue.
冬。7回。
Okay, so winter, 7th floor. So yeah, 20-minute intro, prologue type thing. We're just gonna keep going. We're gonna finish chapter 1, 2, I guess. I don't know. We're just gonna go to about an hour. Across the hall, facing the nurse's station, was a lounge-like place. Very cafeteria-like. Left in that unpopulated place were a number of sofas, folding chairs, and a large television. Oh, what did I just press? Oops. On that 28-inch CRT, a meaningless New Year's program was running. Isn't that those box TVs? That's pretty small. It's like my monitor. Watching that boring television with an equally bored expression was some girl. She had a small build and wore pink pajamas. Her wrist had, just like I did, a white bracelet. Ugh. Hair that was to her hips left an impression. I guess long hair isn't really that common in Japan. I don't know. I have a classmate who I've known for years, and she has hair that went down to the back of her knees at one point. That left an impression, but most people have hair to their hips, I think. Well, not most people. A lot of people do. Hey you, is that interesting? There wasn't with any particular deep meaning. Since there was no one around, I tried speaking to her profile.
別に。
Tsundere. It's the number one tsundere thing that they say. That was all she replied with. She didn't even turn towards me, even though I had spoken to her. Perhaps she had absolutely no interest in me. She continued to gaze at the television with a bored look. If it's boring, you don't have to watch it. As I thought that, I also sat down in a folding chair. And sitting next to her, I gazed at the television. There was nothing else to do, nothing else I could do. Quietly, we continued to gaze at the television. On the screen were the usual New Year's programs, pathetic impersonations and parlor tricks. Occasionally ringing out the host's stupidly high-pitched laugh. In the pure white sunlit room, it dryly reverberated. That does not look right. Dryly reverberated. Okay.
ねえ、あなた。
Suddenly the girl spoke to me while gazing at the television.
あなた。何回目？
What? Which time? What does that mean? I'm confused.
7階に来たの。
Oh, it's my first time here? Sorry, I don't understand the meaning of the question.
そう。初めてなんだね。
Hajimete, yeah. It seemed that my inability to understand what she was saying. She had up and gotten satisfied with that judgment. Oh my gosh, I can't read.
じゃあ、他に誰もいないし、私の役目だから。
Duty.
そういうルールなの。
While nodding, she added that there was a rule for someone to teach people who first come here to the 7th floor. Even now, I understood nothing. And as if ignoring me, the girl slowly began speaking.
それじゃあ、よく聞いてね。
Alright. ... The girl's words came by ones and twos. They were slightly different compared to the doctor's speech that I had heard up until coming here. In that business-like speech from the doctor, it was said that this was a place to await the advancement of medicine. It was also called a place for healing the heart. Most likely, broadly speaking, that was probably correct. However, from what the girl said, that was a facade. The 7th floor was within the hospital, but was the only place that didn't give treatments. Simply a place to wait for the end of life. Again, I'm pretty sure that's the definition of hospice. That's what the girl said. That's what I also felt, and had the same perception.
私、2回目だから。
Okay. Second time. What's that?
ここに来るの。
Okay. And the girl taught me. This place called the 7th floor, to be here for from the moment of admission all the way until dying, first of all apparently didn't happen. Even if being cured was impossible, if your health becomes better, then they would allow you to come to go home once. They would allow you to go home once. Okay. Right. English translations are difficult for Japanese people, I guess. I don't know. But after a while, and it turns bad. And once again, you come back here. Among those comings and goings, eventually you die. The place where life ran out, it only differed between home and the 7th floor. Without fail, one would die in either of those. Seemed no one has ever escaped that. It was with that meaning that the girl had meant by saying it was her second time.
じゃあ、一度しか言わないから、ここからは、よく聞いて。
Okay. Still looking at the dull screen, the girl continued speaking even more. The subject being not about what time the lights would be out and the normal sorts of topics exchanged between admitted patients. She taught me about totally different things. On the 3rd time you're given a temporary discharge, prepare yourself. There's never a 4th. You won't be going home anymore. If there's a time that you want to run away, go not to Station A, but towards Station B. Don't eat anything. That is the shortest path. It will end with the least burden to your family. This is fucked. Like, pardon my language, but damn. Like, look at this last line. Don't eat anything. That is the shortest path. It will end with the least burden to your family. I mean, I guess if your family's paying for you to be there and, they don't give treatments, so they're not paying as much, but they're still paying for the room and everything, then I guess that would make sense, but that's still basically suicide. And if you really want to take that way, then, just find a better way. Don't starve yourself. Jesus Christ. Most likely it was something only for people who came here. Through just those who participated in moving towards death, these were the things that have continued to be passed down. Was the duty you mentioned earlier this?
そうよ。
Wait, did that have a question mark? Yeah, it did. I'll just make sure. I'm a grammar Nazi.
初めて来た人には伝えてね。
Oh, she trusted me. I can't handle this responsibility. With those final words, the girl slowly stood up. Gently, her long hair swayed and brushed to the tip of my nose.
じゃあ、検温の時間だから。
And then, just like that, with her back facing me, she began walking towards the hall. I was left alone in that place, while the laughing voice from the screen and the white flowers decorating around the window. In the end, the girl never once looked in my direction. January 10th, 2005, 7th floor. From then, when a few days have passed, finally the New Year's programs ended, and soon the 3rd terms of middle school and high school would be starting. Today in the lounge, once more, the figures of the girl and I were staring at the television. It's boring, isn't it?
そうね。
The word came back in reply, but both of us were conversing while continuing to gaze at the screen. Hey, is this place always like this?
質問の意味がわからない。
Yeah, it's kind of a weird question. I meant how there's no one around. Nurses, doctors, and add that to the helpers. If you take them out, then aside from our own caregivers, I had never seen anyone else. I guess it's because it's the New Year's?
その理由を知りたいの？
No. It's not like I meant that.
じゃあ言わない。
She's a bit of a bitch. Just a bit. I mean, she's dying, so she's got reason to be, but she's just a bit of a bitch. An exchange that wasn't even a conversation. We indifferently exchanged back and forth. A slight breeze came from windows that couldn't open more than 15 centimeters. Occasionally it would sway the girl's hair, and, in the same way, would sway the white flowers decorating around the windows. The two of us, while watching the boring television, were only spending days passing time. That's not how I would spend my days. If I was dying, that's not how I would spend my days. I'd go out and, finish my bucket list. And I do have a bucket list. I'll show it to you guys sometime. But, no, I'd go do all that. I wouldn't just sit there. Oh, the two of you were in a place like this? Saying that while rushing up was an elderly nurse. From just glancing at the nurse's station once in a while, this person seemed to be the chief of the 7th floor. So, Setsumi-san, you don't have a fever?
大丈夫。出てない。
Setsumi. Apparently this was the girl's name. You can't be roaming about outside without permission anymore, okay? Was the... What were those moans? Alright, everyone gets worried.
別にいいよ。
My, what kind of statement is that? Really, girls these days, there's just no helping them. And for a while more, the nurse continued scolding. To that, she, the girl called Setsumi, let it go by with an indifferent expression. As if ignoring the somewhat noisy nurse, she continued watching the boring screen. Well, later, I'll be coming to take a blood sample, alright? With those final words, once again the nurse returned back to the nurse's station. See, okay, normally I would have done a really, really, British nurse voice, but my throat is hurting right now, as you can hear by all the constant cracks in my voice. So I'm not gonna do any voices right now. Maybe eventually, in future VNs, I'll do voices, but no, not right now. Hey you. I mean, I can call you Setsumi, right? Wrapped around the girl's wrist was the white vinyl bracelet. While looking at the blood type and name there, I asked, what is with these moans? She's having sex. She's rubbing off or something. That's what it sounds like. Is something wrong, Setsumi?
どうして呼び捨てなの？
That's what she's concerned about. The fact that there's no honorific. Okay. Okay. What? Yeah.
年下のくせに。
She's older than me? Is this the girl from the beginning? So that would make sense. Hey, why is it that I'm the younger one?
別に。そう思っただけ。
Yeah. Okay. It wasn't that I was upset at the word younger. It was just, no matter how you looked at it, one would believe I was 5 or 6 years older. That was why I took out the license that was in my chest pocket and showed it to her. So he still got the license. What do I have in my pocket? I have a Books A Million card. Because I buy manga a lot, so I might as well have had one. How about it? Even though I look like this, I'm 20, you know? See, he is about my age. He's 20 years old. It's only 3 years off. I was close. Shut up. Why the moans? Why the moaning?
やっぱり年下よ。
I thought, okay, so she is older than us. With just a glance at the license, the girl gave only that reply. Hey, I don't really get it.
どうでもいいじゃない。少し上なだけよ。
It's just an... Okay. As always, the girl spoke softly with no expression. I don't know, I find humor in the dumbest shit, you know? The fact that a lolly is actually older than all of us just makes me laugh. I'm guessing she's a lolly, considering he said that she looks like a teenager. And considering that if this is the girl from the beginning, and it's also the girl from the cover, she's a loli. Those eyes, while looking at the boring television, I felt that they were also looking at someplace far away. When the morning temperature taking ended, I got onto the elevator, trying not to be seen by the nurses. I really like the soundtrack, though. It's actually a really good soundtrack. Yeah, we still got plenty of time. Coming to the first floor, deliberately passing through the entrance for outpatients, and I just kept walking out of the hospital. The destination was the place I was taught before, not the nearby Station A, but the far Station B. It wasn't like I was planning on running away. The 7th floor, or home, there was no one who died outside of those two. Before, that was what I had heard. It also seemed that the girl called Setsumi had also gone many times to Station B. That was why, for no real reason, I simply felt like wanting to go to see that place once. It's not like there are guards around. Even so, us residents of the 7th floor were different from other admitted patients. While also thinking about but maybe, I continued walking on the street to the early morning station area. Glancing at hurrying commuters and people going to school, I slowly moved on at a measured pace. You know what this soundtrack reminds me of? The soundtrack of Clannad. It's got that kind of dramatic, feelsy vibe that, like, especially this one right here. I really like this. It's very, Clannad like, and Clannad's my favorite anime, so I know what I'm talking about here. After walking a while, taking about 25 minutes, I finally arrived before the station. In terms of bus stops, it was about 4's distance. That's gotta be a reference to something, or like something that's commonly known in some areas of Japan, I guess, because I have no idea what that means. In a way, there's quite a bit of people around. That was the first impression upon seeing Station B. Because my clothes were pajamas, I stood out somewhat. However, if just like this, I bought a train ticket, I felt without a single problem, could go anywhere. Okay, so in this aspect, I think it's better that they're in Japan, because in America, you wear like the backwards robes where you got your ass hanging out at the back. So if he was walking around like that, that probably wouldn't be good. Why was it not Station A, but the Station B that was recommended? I didn't know. However, if one were planning to run away, I thought it was a simple thing. Certainly the girl was also supposed to have come here many times. But why is it that she still remained in the 7th floor? Even now, I wonder. Early morning before the station. So the even nows, like when he says, even now I wonder, or even then I didn't know, it makes me feel like he's like retelling his story. Like it's like him in the future narrating his own life. Maybe, I don't know. Probably not that far into the future if he's actually dying, but while watching the people hurrying by, suddenly that thought occurred to me. That night, after the lights had been turned off, holding on to a book of manga, unable to sleep, I wandered around the ward alone. Normally, wandering around after lights out would get one scolded badly, but us residents of the 7th floor were given a relative amount of freedom. And with the lights off, the usual lounge was pitch dark. There, I saw her figure. Hey, today you're looking outside? In the dark room, there was a response, but that face remained looking beyond the window. Immediately, I started talking about what happened during the day. That reminds me, this morning I went all the way to the station. Just like you told me, I went to see Station B.
So,
but the girl's response was no different from usual. Because she was supposed to have gone before, I had thought that there might have been some kind of reaction, but thinking about that, as well as how she still remained here, did it mean that she really had no intention of running away?
私、もうすぐ帰れるの。
Eh? Suddenly, the girl opened her mouth. Words as if she had seen clearly through to my heart just now.
でも、次で3回目だから、もう会えないかもね。
Yeah, there's never a fourth time, so this might be the last time. That's right. Most likely, when she said that she would be able to go home, she was talking about a temporary discharge. In this place called the 7th floor, being admitted more than 3 times, it apparently never happened. Especially unlike the elderly, when considering the rate of progression of disease, it was even more so for younger patients like us. With that kind of meaning came the words, "We won't meet again."
ね。あなたはどちらを選ぶの？
Between home and the 7th floor? Choose what?
どっちで死ぬつもりってこと？
Yeah, between home and the 7th floor. You guys leave in the comments what you would choose. I said that before, I think. Maybe. Did I? I don't remember. But leave that in the comments. If you were in the protagonist's shoes, would you choose to spend the rest of your days on the 7th floor? With Setsumi, probably? Or she might not be coming back, I don't know. Or would you go home and be with your cold family, who will just give you blank smiles? It's a good question. Suddenly hearing the word death, my words caught for just a second. Well, I haven't thought about it yet.
そう。まだ1回目だもんね。
Me, personally, I would probably choose option 3 and just run away. Yeah, you can choose option 3. You can run away and just live your life however you want to. That's always an option, I guess. But, you'd have to put your family through that too, so I don't know. The girl spoke in a lonely murmur. Of course, I knew even I couldn't be here forever. Like everyone else, going in and out of the hospital, slowly weakening until someday. In the end, either the 7th floor is surrounded by thin smiles. It would come to a choice between those two, probably.
私は家は嫌。だけど、
Yeah.
ここも嫌。
She's going for option 3. Then what will you do? Again with the moaning. That.
別にどうもしない。
The serious
自力
moans.
で歩けるうちにどこかに行くだけ。
It's a good way of looking at things. That's a lot better way of looking at things than her normal way of talking and speaking and everything. Somewhere, even though it was obvious that if one wanted to run away, one could, this girl still remained on the 7th floor. When I thought about that, do you have some other place to go? The serious moans. I mean, I know this is supposed to be a very serious story, but those moans is... I'm just
あなた、
gonna stop reacting to him.
私を引き止めたいの？
You want to pull me back? Huh?
それとも一緒についてきたいの？
Yeah, I like that option. If I had the choice, I'd go with her. No, I didn't mean it like that.
じゃあ、
See, this is where an option bar would come in handy. I hope this is one that gives you options. I really want to play one like that. While gazing out the window, the girl spoke indifferently. As always, it had been a conversation where she did not even look in my direction. Has she ever looked at you? Does she know what you look like? It's a good question. However, just that time, I saw her usual expressionless profile seem sad. Taught that the 3rd temporary discharge would be the last. The first time I've come to the 7th floor. And then a girl who would soon face her 2nd time. For me, I still couldn't really feel the things that were happening in reality, but someday, would I also come to make such a face? From before dawn, rain fell. Occasionally also changing to either sleet or snow, it lightly continued coming down. Within that, I was in the usual place watching the television. As always, the 7th floor was devoid of people.
面白い。
Is it interesting? Yeah, I get it. No, boring. I mean, this game's pretty fun though. It's actually, I really want to just keep playing. The girl came from the other side. Exchanging only those words, she quietly sat in the folding chair next to me. Okay, so she does know what we look like, obviously. That's good. At least she just hasn't looked at us once. And then today also, the two of us began gazing at the television. Surely the girl was also the same. Yeah. There was nothing else to do. Nothing else she could do.
Ah.
That was cute. Surprisingly, she responded to something on the television. Something the matter?
別に。
Soon. The words were the same, Betsuni, but it was a response that was different from the usual for the girl. Becoming interested, I turned my eyes to the screen. What was on the screen was some kind of nature scene. On a beautiful hill, trees and flowers blended into the landscape. And focused on the screen were a great many white flowers. They were flowers I remembered seeing before. They resembled the white flowers even now decorating the room by the windows. Are those the same flower? Don't react to it. Look, aren't they exactly like these? While speaking, I pointed at the screen and then towards the window.
種類は同じだけど、厳密に言えば違う。
Okay. You want to get technical and shit. They're the same, but strictly speaking now, no, you're completely wrong. Giving just a glance at the flowers by the window, the girl once again returned to gazing at the television while answering. To say the truth, even if she denied that they were the same, to me, I didn't know the difference between the two. And anyways, for me, whether the flowers are the same or different, it didn't really matter. Instead of that, the girl normally would never participate in any conversation. That girl surprisingly continued with her words. That was why I also tried to maintain the conversation. Are you maybe knowledgeable about this sort of thing?
別に。
Really? But I can't tell the difference. The white flowers blooming beyond the screen, the flowers in the vases beyond the girl's profile. While vaguely looking at both of them, I continued further with my words. So these are orchids or lilies? Look, they've got a whitish color, right? I can't do that moan. It's just like a it's fucking sex noises. That's what it is. Wow, my eyes. Ow. Fuck. Okay. Even though I had no interest, I managed to continue speaking. However, the girl soon became like usual and fell silent. With her usual expression, she only gazed at the boring screen. And when I had given up on the possibility that she would take up the conversation and once again began to move my eyes back to the television.
Narcissus.
Narcissus. Okay. So she just said the title of the... Is that a flower?
Narcissus よ。
Oh, so the game is named after a flower. Whoa, she's so fucking adorable. While answering, for the first time she faced me. Dude, she's adorable. Swaying her long waist-length hair, while pointing at the flowers shown on the television, she looked at me. Her eyes are a little fucked, but I don't know, I kind of like that style. It's pretty cool. It's like watercolored almost. That's cool. That's nice. I like it. Just like the flowers displayed on the screen, there was a white vinyl bracelet wrapped around the wrist with white skin. The first time that I saw that face, I thought I saw the briefest of smiles. Yeah, you see? It's right there. There's a smile. I can see it. I see it. It's so cute. Okay, so that was chapter 1. That was about 50 minutes, so I guess we'll leave it there. And next time we'll do chapter 2, the Silver Coupe. Coupe? I don't know how to pronounce that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the prologue and chapter 1 of Narcissu. So I'm gonna work on that. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, slap that like button. Leave a comment down below for all the things that I said in here. And yeah, thanks for watching and keep watching anime, guys. See ya.